Good evening, everyone. It is November 7th, 2023, and we have finished off with our seventh consecutive green day on the S&P. In the past 5 years, we've had seven streaks like this, and only three went on to be 8 days. This comes from a friend of mine. None of these made it to nine. So, I imagine the sell day is approaching. And if you wanted to do some TA on this stuff, you can see that we have pretty much no volume coming in as we're pressing higher. So to me, we have not found a seller. We are just steadily moving on upwards for now. In the past, when we came up here, he did come up on low volume. We didn't really find a seller, but once we did, we saw those volumes pick up. Low volume, big volume, big volume, big volume. So right now we're playing with that low volume. Same stuff on the Qs, which were just barely not able to break that October high. Same thing on the Dow. Very, very low volumes up here. Russell, very low volumes. Sorry, I guess technically it's a green session in that we did close higher than the open, but we did close lower than yesterday's close. So it depends on how you want to look at that. So yeah, this is what I was talking about in the weekly outlook, right? Was that I was expecting us to hold up and get this kind of consolidative rotational trade at least until Wednesday, and I was saying perhaps Wednesday at the earliest you might get a sell, more like Thursday or Friday, and I'm still looking at it like that. Let's just put it this way: if we continue to not really push much higher while these lows get higher and higher, when you do have a sell day, you will be below settlement lows pretty quickly, and you will be staying below settlement lows for a while, right? Because you'll have had so many days ramping upwards that every day you make a sell, you'll be easily below these lows. So you'll have people underwater, these late longs who are trying to push up for the breakout. Now, our favorite fade, Mr. Dan Nathan, is short the Qs. So, you know, I don't think that short's going to happen yet until he collapses his short position, until he gets squeezed out. So overall, going into tomorrow, what do we have? JPOW at 9:15. That's before the bell. 1 p.m. or 1:01 p.m. 10-year bond auction comes out. 30 years the day after on Thursday. So not really sure. I don't think this JPOW thing is supposed to be some sort of big event, so I'm not going to be looking for any sort of huge volatility spikes from that. I do think the 10-year bond auction might bring some volatility. We've seen it do that in the past, I think one or two times now that the market is so centered upon these bonds. It's just been a hyper focus of the markets. So I'll be aware of that to cause some volatility. Now, going into the actual zones and all that sort of stuff for tomorrow. Here we go. Let's start off with the S&Ps. There we go. I'm going to be looking for higher. I think we're going to get into that prior high of the month. There we go, 438-ish. I think we end up holding somewhere around here or down here at the lowest. Because we spent so much time, pretty much the entire afternoon we spent above here. It's not too hard to fall out of value. In other words, it's not too hard to fall out of where the majority of the volume was done. So I wouldn't be surprised if you get something that looks like, whatever, you open here, you fall out of value, you find a bid somewhere here, you come back into value, and then we move on upwards. So that is going to be something I'll be aware of. Ideally, what we will get tomorrow is something like a turn around, initial balance is set. We peak below the initial balance, come up, rip the initial balance highs, and can continue moving on forward. And so that is what I'm going to be looking for tomorrow on the S&Ps. Where's the NASDAQ? Here's the NASDAQ. There we go. Turn off the indicator stuff. There we go. Similarly, I should probably change this. I'm looking for highs, new highs. That's all I'm looking for. If we do break the open, from today's session, I'll look for us to crap out. And in that scenario, you do have a surprise attack setup in that today we closed above 80% of the day's range. If we take out the daily low, this thing should be a swing short, and I guess I'll have to be short. I just don't think that's going to happen. Once again, like I talked about before, earlier in the week, we're probably going to be opening above the structure, right? It seems probable that we're going to be opening above the majority of the structure. Just want to throw this zone up in here. There we go. I know, this is a lot of zones. Where is this? Here are the futures. Let's make this chart a little less ugly. That's the best I can do. If we open above value area low, so that's 43.90 from today's RTH session. 43.90. This blue number, 90 quarter. If we can open above there, we'll be opening above settlement highs, settlement close, the previous day's open, the weekly open, settlement open, weekly close, prior day's low, settlement lows, all this sort of stuff. We will only be opening below last week's high and the close and the prior day's high and value area high. We're not going to be opening below any significant structure, in my opinion. So similarly on the Qs, where's my NASDAQ futures chart? There we go. Look at this, even better. If we're opening above value area low, 15,332, this number right here. If we're opening above here, what is above us? The prior day's close, high, and value area high. That is it. Right? So I'm going to be looking for clues from tonight's Globex session. Can we break? Are we going to start breaking down below value area low? Okay, that gives me a little bit more of a bearish lean. Are we going to break the prior day's high? Will we come somewhere to 430 and then kind of open around 380-ish? Well, that's pretty bullish. I'm going to probably be looking for higher prices. In terms of targets on this thing, last month's high, that'll be a first target. Gap close will be the second target. The actual price closes over here at 438.55. That's what I'll be looking for. Somewhere around here. Let's call it 439. Seems like a decent target. Today's range is what, $4 or $5, something like that. Where's Tuesday's low? Yeah, $3. If we hold somewhere around here, move on upwards, something like that seems okay. NASDAQ, same idea. I want to see us take out the prior month's high if it loads. Come on, buddy. There we go. Take out this prior month's high, and I think you end up going even a little bit higher. Something like this looks decent. Yeah, something like that. 375-ish. Dow. Upside target. I think 342. 343, sorry. That seems like a decent spot. That's how I'm looking at this thing. I am doubtful we break down. If we do break the overnight low and all that sort of stuff, and we do look at lower targets, maybe you get into the prior day's low. Maybe you get into settlement lows, Monday's low, in other words. I don't really think you're going to get much further than that. Again, opening above all that structure. Probably opening above all that structure. Same thing on the NASDAQ. I wouldn't really start targeting much more than settlement lows. Monday's low, kind of around here. Right? So I guess I am bullish for tomorrow for an 8th consecutive green day. God forbid. Maybe we'll have 9 in a row. Who knows? Anyway, hope that makes sense. Hope that helps. Have a great night. Trade safe.